That's how Jesus needs to be in your life. No matter how far you dig, he's there, giving you your nutrients, your love, your water, all the things you need. Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about courage above fear and how love gives you that courage. We start with Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous, do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. When you think that you've sinned so bad that God can't possibly be connected to you anymore, that he's gone, or if you've ever just not felt his presence, where you feel like you're too far, or you feel like he's just not there, that that he's left, that you can't get to him. You can through grace, because Jesus' sacrifice brings you grace. I've felt that way, disconnected. I felt when I was younger, I was like, he's gone. I did too much. Gone. But he's not. He's still there. He still talks to me. He was talking to me the whole time, trying to lead me. And I just, I wasn't ready to hear his voice. I didn't want to. But sometimes you kind of get a kick in the butt and you gotta, you listen, or you're just like, I need to make a change. Something's gotta happen. I don't like who I am. I don't like what I'm doing, whatever. Some other verses that you guys can look up for on courage is Psalm 23:4. I'll put it up here. I'll put it right here. Psalm 23:4. John 14:17, Psalm 56:3-4, Ephesians 6-10, 1 Corinthians 2-3, or 2:3, Romans 8:26, Joshua 1:6, Joshua 1:9, and 1 Corinthians 16:13. These are all great ones that touch on courage and how the Lord brings you strength. There's a bunch more, obviously, but I think one that really stuck out to me was Psalms 139:14, where it talks about, I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And that it really touches my heart. When it says, marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. When you think you're fearfully and wonderfully made, and in my Bible study, someone mentioned this quote, so I looked it up. I was like, I gotta know what this is. I gotta write this down. I'm just like, wow. Each one of us is fearfully and wonderfully made. We're beautiful in his eyes. That's amazing. And it's raining, so it's gonna get louder. So, yeah. But I also wrote down John 4:7-14, as it talks about his everlasting love. Because when you have God's love, you have all the courage you need to beat all your fears. But specifically 4:18 tells us that his perfect love casts out all fear. So as you read 7-14, it talks about how his love is a living water, and how it brings you calm and peace and comfort and security and compassion. And when you have all those things from God, you really don't need anything else, and you can really just be in his love and fight your fears. I hate spiders. God tests me a lot with that. So there's other stuff, heights, whatever, but I've had to face them, and this talking, this is a fear, but being seen, I guess, but gotta do what I gotta do, I suppose. So a goal that you can try for, and I've done this, and trust me, if it works, or when it works, when this prayer is answered, your heart is gonna feel like crazy, like insane. So try praying for a deeper comprehension of God's love, including the breadth, the length, the height, and the depth. And when you specifically look towards that, this, from my personal experience, I felt just a glimmer of what unconditional love feels like, knowing that, I sin so much, but he still loves me, and I do my best to change my ways. When you repent, you have to change your ways, otherwise it's a lie. But when you do that, when you live for him, you're living in his love. And you can beat all fear, all doubt, all anxiety by having that love, because his love is your courage. And our general goal in life is to be rooted and grounded in love. And another thing someone said to me was that Jesus is like your taproot, where I forget what plant it is, I'll put it down. But the root goes all the way down. You can never, it don't come out when you dig it up. That's how Jesus needs to be in your life. No matter how far you dig, he's there, giving you your nutrients, your love, your water, all the things you need. And I think that's just really important to remember, because I've been learning that, how to surrender myself to his love and just live in it. And it's hard. We all have our issues we deal with every day, anxiety, people with depression. That really takes a lot out of you, but when you have love, it helps to get you out of it quicker. It helps to bring you back to that base, that stable little up and down, because, everyone's day is like, little waves. And when you have depression, you're way down here, and when you're having good times with people, you're way up here, but then you go back to the standard of general up and down. And when you have God's love, it becomes a lot easier to work through that with practice. It takes a lot of practice. I've seen people, who have been walking for 20 plus years, and it's still practice. It's never going to end. It's never going to end. You're never going to get to that point of peace, full on. You're still going to get annoyed. People are still going to push your buttons. But it's getting better at praying for people and showing God's love and showing the courage you have through his love, and remembering to stay humble. Humility is a good thing. I know we all have our pride. We all have our ego. And sometimes our ego can be negative or positive. So you gotta remember that. Ego can be negative. But the most important part is just staying in his love, Courage is hard. But when you know that you stand on God's side, and God is above every human, it makes you think how small a human is compared to God. So when you need that courage towards a human, you have God. You're on his side. So you're good. Don't do anything dumb. He gives you wisdom. But just you can still trust in him when you have to make difficult decisions. So have a blessed day. I'm going to go enjoy this rain.